Today's world, artificial intelligence certainly making our lives easier. However, some tech experts are concerned about the path ahead when it comes to AI. Cybersecurity expert Dave Hatter with Intrust IT joins us now to break it all down for us. Dave, thanks for joining us on First Alert at 4. We've either experienced or heard about the incredible things that AI can do for us, but what are the real-world risks you're seeing in your field as a cybersecurity expert?
Well, thanks for having me on, Ryan. And there are definitely some risks. We use AI in our business on a fairly regular basis. I use it personally for a variety of things. It does have some limitations, and that's probably the first thing. People need to understand what it's good at and what it's not good at. They need to understand the idea of hallucinations, that it will just frequently make things up, and you're seeing more and more of that and reporting that's coming out as more people are using it. And there's all kinds of hype and hyperbole out there too, Ryan. People predicting the end of the world and Terminators and things like that. I don't believe we're anywhere close to that. In fact, I think if you do any research at all, you'll see in many cases it's failing at a lot of things people are trying to do in more advanced uses. The big concern I have at the moment, though, really is focused more on cybersecurity and the ability to use free, readily available tools to clone someone's voice and launch fraud. In fact, Sam Altman, the CEO of OpenAI, the people that make ChatGPT, just gave a fairly alarming speech at the Fed about that very topic and how he's concerned about financial fraud by the easily accessible voice cloning tools that are out there.
Yeah, pretty scary. And what should the average person be doing differently now in order to possibly protect themselves in an AI-powered world that we're living in now?
Yeah, that's a really important question, Ryan. And the good news is there are things you can do. And the first part of it is really just awareness. If you just follow some news around this topic, you can see there are a lot of scams that are popping up. One of the things that AI, generative AI in particular, things like ChatGPT or Grok are really good at are generating content. Sounds well written, easily read prose that doesn't have a lot of grammatical errors. Kind of gets around all the old school tells that people like me would say to look for in phishing. Someone that doesn't even speak English can create perfectly crafted English grammar and emails and that sort of thing. So be on the lookout for that. But again, the voice cloning thing is the biggest concern of mine. And people will often say, well, Dave, I'm not a celebrity. How would you get my voice? If I call your phone, do you have a voicemail greeting? Because if you do, I'm you in about 15 seconds. I can take your voice off that voicemail greeting, feed it into readily available free AI tools, clone your voice if you have voice authentication turned on your bank account as a way to authenticate yourself or identify yourself when you log in. Could I potentially access your bank account and steal all your money? Yes, I could. And this isn't, again, just old Doomsday Dave telling you this here. You have guys like Sam Altman, the CEO of OpenAI, warning about this. So again, awareness is key. Understanding what these things are good at and not good at, frankly, and understanding when you put content into any AI tool, it's becoming part of their platform. That's something to consider. And then again, this idea of voice cloning, I strongly encourage every one of your viewers, if your bank or any financial institution allows you to use your voice to identify yourself to their systems, you should either turn that off or seriously consider finding a new institution because of the threat of deepfake voice cloning.
Oh, certainly good to know. Dave Hatter with Intrust IT. Dave, really important stuff, and appreciate you sharing your cybersecurity expertise with our viewers on this Monday.
Yeah, my pleasure, Ryan. Thanks for having me on. Happy to help anytime I can.
And still to come here on First Alert at 4. National Night Out is back this week. Anna shows us where the fun is happening tomorrow in Duluth.
Plus.